Alright, we're back for one more 15-minute session. I hope we can finish up this time. Who knows? It goes a lot faster without an audience. But anyway, I appreciate you being here. This is Ron Climer. I'm at Climer School of Real Estate. That's our phone number if you need us. I should have erased this board while the camera was off. But you know, I'm not a pro at this, but I'm a pro at teaching these real estate classes. So if you need any help, come to Climer School of Real Estate. By the way, we teach a 2-day live review before the state exam. And I mean, we tell you exactly what's on the state exam. I've been doing this for 30 years. I got letters on the wall from students. I get postcards every day from students. I get emails from students. If anybody knows what's on the state exam, it's me. And we teach a 2-day review. You can call Kathy if you got any interest in checking that out. You can get it on audio tape if you want it, but it's better live, it's more fun. It says here, Mr. Jones incurred a 20% loss when he sold a 10-acre parcel for $100,000. He also owns a 25-acre parcel for which he paid $200,000. How much must he sell that parcel for if he wants to recover his loss and realize a 20% profit on choice B? Well, there's one thing for sure, he's got to do better than he did on Tract A. But here's the deal. He sold the property for $100,000. Now, he lost 20% when he sold that property. 20% of what? 20% of what he paid for the property. Now, I don't know what he paid for the property, but what he paid for the property was 100% of what he paid for it. When he sold it, he lost 20%. So 80%, $100,000, the price that he sold it for, is 80% of the price. So if we take $100,000, and divide it by 0.80, it'll tell us that he sold the loser property, or he paid $125,000 for the loser property. He paid $125,000 for it. He sold it for a 20% loss. A 20% loss. 20% of what? 20% of this number. 20% of this number. So he sold it for a 20% loss, or $25,000 loss. So now his plan is to go out and buy another property for $200,000. He's going to buy another property for $200,000. He's going to mark it up 20%, which is $40,000. And then he's going to add back the $25,000 that he lost from the bad deal. And he's going to sell this property for $265,000. Sounds pretty easy when you're just sitting around making plans. So he lost 20%, which means $100,000 was 80%. He took the $100,000 divided by 0.80. He paid $125,000, sold it for $100,000, so he lost $25,000. He bought the next property for $200,000, marked it up 20%, plus added in the loss on his first property. If he gets $265,000 for that, everything will be happy at his household. Now, next question is, Mr. and Miss Greer are purchasing an apartment building. Each of the 5 apartments rent for, I'm erasing this, each of the apartments rent for $315. Whoops. And there's how many units? And there's 5 units, 5 apartments. So we got 5 apartments, $315 per month. So that is $1,575 is the rent that the seller collected on the first of the month. Seller collected that rent. We're going to divide that by, what month are we closing in? We're closing in the month of September. So we're going to divide that by 30 days in September. Hold on. And that is $52.50 per day. The seller owns the property for 15 days because we're closing on the 16th, but that's the buyer's day. So the seller owns 15 days. So the seller is entitled to $787.50 of the rent. The seller collected $1,575 on the first of the month. They're going to be turning $787.50 of the money over to the buyer. Who's going to be smiling on that? Debit to the seller, credit to the buyer. Debit to the seller, credit to the buyer, or the way it states in the book, it just says credit to the buyer. So that's a credit to the buyer, buyer smiling, debit to the seller, seller's frowning. All right, I'm erasing this. Next question says, we have a 28.5 acre piece of property that sells for $4,100 per acre. So what is the price of this property? Let's see. $4,100 times 28.5, and the answer is $116,850. That's the price of the property. Question is, how much are the documentary stamps on the deed? How much are the documentary stamps on the deed? We're going to divide this by 100, and we see that you need 1,168.5 stamps. You can't buy half a stamp. You need 1,169 stamps. You can't buy half a stamp. So you need that times 0.70, and the answer is $818.30. Doc stamps on the deed always end in 0. If they don't end in 0, you got the wrong answer. If they don't end in 0, you got the wrong answer. And I think I'm going to quit right there. I wish y'all luck. If I can help you with anything, give me a call. I would urge you to come to our 2-day review. I would urge you to get our 2-day review on audio. If you don't have the skinny book, call Kathy and ask her about the skinny book. Skinny book has 400 questions, practice questions in it. Plus it comes with a CD with even more questions. If you don't have any practice tests to do, there's a 100-question test in the back of the fat book. I would urge you to do that. And we have a practice test on our website at www.climerrealestateschool.com. Now, if you're still enrolled in school, at Climer School of Real Estate or anywhere else, don't go to that test now. Wait till you're finished with school, your audios, and you're thinking, I'm ready for the state exam. You go to my website at www.climerrealestateschool.com. Take that 100-question test. If you don't make a 75 on that, you will not make a 75 on the state exam. It costs $31 to take that state exam. 52% of the people pass it the first time. Retakers, 33% of the people pass it. So if you've already had it once, you're going back for another round. You got a 33% if you keep doing what you're doing. So don't keep doing what you're doing. Come to my review, get my review on audio, and do a little serious studying. I love you. Stay in touch.